Hey y'all, this is Kim with Creative Escapades, and I'm back for part 2 of this cloud effect pour. And I have already added some polyacrylic varnish. This is the clear gloss, and I added about 2 coats to it to seal the paint, and I wanted it to have a really smooth surface for my vinyl that I'm going to use as the embellishment. I have several different colors of this holographic vinyl, and what I want to do is cut some butterflies, and I'm going to cut 2 of each size and then layer them so that I have a 2-toned butterfly for each one. And for those of you who have the Cricut and still use the cartridges like I do, I'm going to be using the Cake Seasonal Sampler because it has the cutest little butterfly on there. And I'm cutting one out of the orange and then layering it over the purple and then placing it onto my transfer tape. Doing the same thing with the next one. Green over yellow, even though it does look orange. And then I'm going to place it how I want it to lay on my transfer paper. And last but not least, I'm doing a pink over the turquoise. And so I have these ready now, and I'm going to transfer them off of the tape onto the canvas. And then on the other side, I want to do some kind of little quote or saying or just something on the opposite side. So I'm going to show you how I attach these to the canvas. And this transfer paper works really easy. Supposedly contact paper works similar, but I haven't actually used contact paper, so I cannot really tell you if there's a difference or not, if it's easier or not. So just the main thing is when you are working with vinyl, when you are removing it from any the surface, whether it's your mat or something like this, just handle it with care because it does tear easily. You would think it'd be a little bit stronger than paper, but it does rip very easily. And you just firmly rub the over the vinyl and making sure that it is attached to your surface. And then at a 45-degree angle, you start pulling the transfer tape away from your vinyl, and just watch and make sure that it doesn't catch somewhere on your design and start pulling it up. If it does, you can just gently rub it back down into place. Follow the edge of the tape as it moves, and just rub the vinyl design onto the canvas. And I'm just using my finger here. I'm not going to use one of those little tools or something because this does have those little designs, and I don't want to take a chance of it catching an edge of one of them and tearing my vinyl. And keep working it until your design is free of the transfer tape. Then if you see any little air bubbles, you just work them out to the edges of the vinyl so that there's no air trapped underneath any part of your design, because you don't want to leave that there and allow a chance of your varnish getting up underneath that and lifting it away from your canvas. So I've transferred all 3 of these now, and I just want to go over them again and make sure that they are laying flat and they have no air bubbles anywhere. You can even apply just a little bit of heat from your heat gun. It warms up that adhesive and then just helps your vinyl to adhere to your surface. So now I'm ready to work on my little quote that I want to put on the other side. And to do that, I'm going to be using this Jasmine Cricut cartridge. For those of you who, again, work with the Cricut cartridges. And I'm going to cut my saying out, and I've decided to go, instead of with a holographic vinyl, I used a really fine gold glitter. It's not a sparkle, it's more of a matte colored glitter to cut my letters out. And I'm going to use the same technique to place them onto the canvas. Just going to pull the transfer paper away from the backing sheet and then apply it to my canvas, rub over the vinyl design to make sure that they are adhesed to the canvas, and pull at a 45-degree angle. So I didn't put you through the whole process. It took a whole lot longer than that to transfer it. But I'm thinking that I need to put the word "the" above beauty. So I'm probably going to add that before I put my varnish on here. And I think it's looking really, really sweet. So I'm just making sure that there's no little pieces of the vinyl that's sticking up anywhere, and then I don't feel any bubbles underneath there where there's some trapped air, working them all out to the edge. I noticed that the R is a little bit crooked here, and I did have a little bit of trouble when I was removing it from the mat onto the transfer paper. So I'm just going to move this R and put it where I want it. And there we go. Now it's in line. So this is ready for some varnish. And I haven't ever tried what I'm going to do here, but I have the Polycrylic high gloss varnish that I'm going to put another layer of that on top of my all the vinyl work that's on the canvas. And I wanted to try to put a little bit of sparkle with that. So I'm going to try adding some of this Primary Elements Bling It Violet sparkle and the Bling It Blue sparkle and see what happens. I've used this in resin, but I haven't tried it adding it to varnish. So you don't have to use a whole lot of this. It's very microfine powder, and you can already get a hint of it floating there on top. But don't want to put too much because I don't want to make it like a gritty surface or anything like that. So, but I do want to see what would happen, since it is so pretty in resin, if I'll get a similar results in the varnish. And just using a little bit of this one mixed in there. So pretty. And I don't want to stir my varnish up real big because I don't want to introduce a lot of bubbles into the varnish. So I'm just kind of trying to mix it gingerly here. But you can see, I don't know if y'all can see it here on this stir stick, but it's sparkly already. So this is going to be fun. I'm going to try it. Hope I don't ruin this canvas. And I'm going to use this hake brush and see if it won't. I like using this brush because it holds a lot of the medium that you're using in the brush without you getting a lot of brush strokes. So there's a little bit of sparkle in this, not as much as I would have expected, and I want to make sure that I go all the different directions over the vinyl because there's so many details that's cut out in the center of the butterfly. And I'm trying to be very careful. I don't want to accidentally catch the edge of one of the pieces of vinyl and pull it away from the canvas. Just trying to make sure it's all down in each little crack and crevice and all around the designs. And it's pretty, but it's not quite as blingy as I thought it was going to be. But anyway, oh wait, right there. Something about brushing it the opposite direction, and I mean it just started sparkling like crazy. Oh man, I don't even know if y'all can see this, but it is awesome stuff. Wow. I hope this dries as pretty as it looks right now. So I'm going to go around these edges, make sure that it gets all the way around. Although I already had some of the varnish on the edges, I just want some of the sparkle there too. So let me see if I can get the camera down where you can pick up the sparkle on it. See that little shimmer? That is the blue and the violet sparkles. So pretty. So I'm going to let this sit here and dry, and then we'll come back and catch a peek at what it looks like after it's dried. And this is what it looks like after it had dried. I did add another coat of just the clear varnish because it did have just a little bit of a matte look to it, and I really wanted it to be more shiny than it was. So here you can see that little shimmer of the blue and the purple, and it's all over the canvas. It did not interfere whatsoever with the holographic vinyl. It's still, you turn it with the light, it still changes the colors. So it's really pretty. I like it. So that experiment worked, and I probably will be using this in some more projects where I just use the varnish instead of resin, and I think it's pretty cool. So if you've enjoyed this video, please click like and share. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell next to it. You'll get notified when I upload future videos. And if you have any comments or questions, leave them below. I love to hear your feedback, and I'll be glad to answer you. And I want to see you in my next creative escapade. Bye-bye.